been trying to give myself more time to drink. I often have a full water container and don't drink it because I'm leading or guiding others, and that's just, it's so important to take care of yourself, while you're holding space for others. So I'm taking a moment to get a drink in. So I'm happy to see you, or rather feel you, right? As everything is so different these days, right? But nonetheless, we come together. I appreciate that, the act of us coming together so much. I put myself in the big window. This building used to be a bank, so the windows are quite large. I don't even know how tall they are, but they're quite tall. So kind of watching the sun come in and probably go out. I'll probably get all kind of blurry and gray in a few moments. Hello, thank you for the hearts. So it'll be interesting to see the light shifting and kind of us experiencing that live time of shift. And that word has been always pretty prevalent, pretty there in my practice, and as I attempt to guide others in their practice, the word shift. I think it's safe to say I like it. And part of the work that we're doing together, just by holding space, just by coming together to sit in the shift, to sit so that we can notice that we are shifting, because boy, the mind has a mind of its own, right? It's got such a lock, such a steel trap on it, and we have to pay attention to the storyline and how it gets fed into the mind over and over and over again in such a way that we notice that it is just that. It is just a storyline that's being fed in. So what I mean by that is there's still potential for other shifts to occur while that information keeps getting fired into the mind on how whatever we are, and how much in pain we are, or how stuck we feel, or how scared we are, how much we're yearning for a better existence. Whatever the storyline is, we want to notice that information that's getting fed into the mind. But we also want to allow the practice to do more than just notice, oh, here comes the storyline again. Here I go, spiraling and reverting into my storyline. Because we all have one, or probably more than one, myself included. And one of the great things about this time of COVID, this big sacred effing pause that we're experiencing together, is that we have more time to notice what our storyline is, right? That's the good flip side of the coin. And of course, it's always the bad flip side of the coin as well, because it's oh no, I have all this time to just be with myself and listen to that storyline as it gets fed into my mind over and over and over and over and over again. That you're not good enough, or whatever it is. Like I said, we all have them. But this practice of sitting together, just clearing out some space, as I've been saying, noticing that there's space in front of you, noticing that there's space around you, behind you, and above you, right? That there's space, right? So that spaciousness kind of inspires, encourages, promotes us to make a little space inside, so that we can see and hear and feel something other than the storyline, so that we can notice that shift happens naturally. And as we are natural creatures, it's our birthright to shift, right? Not to be stuck. So as I'm poised in this big, beautiful window, just watching the light kind of come in and go out, with the shift of the clouds as they pass through. It's such a beautiful in some ways subliminal, and in other ways very kind of real, in your face, literal reminder that everything natural shifts. Our moods, our minds, our bodies, our sensations, our temperatures, our thoughts, they all shift. So let's not get too stuck. You know, yeah, the storyline's there, and it's probably going to be there for a while longer, because this is, you know, this is how we operate. These are our patterns. These are our habits. But there's more than us, more to us other than the story. So become aware of the shifts. Let's just take a few moments, move around a little bit. Let's tune in, settle to the seat. Thank you, Patrick. Hi, Elise. Hi, Barb. I love you guys. I just love you guys. And breathe in. Namaste. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to talk about this, but it's in my heart, so I'm just going to go ahead and share it. And part of the practice of bhakti, the practice of living in a heart of devotion, what it is that you truly believe in, and allowing yourself your heart to lead you there rather than your head. Part of that is kind of a permission to just allow things to get a little messy every once in a while. So I'm not sure if I'm really ready to talk about this, but it's in my heart, so I'm going to go ahead and share. Our dear, dear friend, Madeline, a lot of you that practiced here in beautiful brick and mortar in Shakti Sanctuary, has left the body. She was 93 years old, and she practiced with me up until the day of her last breath. And that is such a privilege to share with all of you in such intimate way. Such intimacy comes through the practice, as it is a stripping away of our harder self and allowing ourselves to go to that internal vulnerability, and wrap our arms around ourselves and wrap our arms around this community, and this privilege of getting to know all of your hearts, right? Even those of you that might be tuning in for the first time, or those of you that I haven't been in physical space with, in body live time with. So strange to say that, right? Our hearts are being joined. Right? That willingness to just kind of, unwrap some of the armor, right? Unwrap some of the armor. So it's a privilege to do that with any and all of you, and then to have done it with someone for such a long time. And to have done it to have shared heart space with someone that the mind, the manager mind in particular, could just box in like, okay, at some point the practice has to stop because of the age, right? Where do we get that from, right? Of course, the physical form starts to shift, starts to change. Of course, less of the physicality in the asana practice becomes not so available. But my goodness, what is the practice? And, we are all still here and now in body and in heart, right? So you get a few moments to just figure out, like, what the heck is the practice in the first place? And someone like Madeline at 93 years old, who still drove herself to this beautiful brick and mortar and still learned how to do Zoom and Facebook and PayPal and all of these other things, technology that she was not accustomed to at 93 years old, kept up the practice. Meditation practice, physical asana practice, breathwork practice, awareness practice, and was with me, us, regularly. So it's very important that as we allow ourselves to make space to notice the shifts that are occurring, like you'll notice the light is changing right now, right? Like that's a natural occurrence, right? The aging process is a natural occurrence. I hate it, but it's happening, right? And it's happening for each and every one of us, whether you're 20 or 90 or somewhere in between. But it doesn't have to be the end to our existence, because we are still here, right? We are still here. So we give thanks for each and every breath. We give thanks for each and every little bit of limb movement that we are able to accomplish. We give thanks for moments that we can join with community to hold space for each other, to find some clearance, to notice the shifts. Often when someone dies, when someone leaves the physical body, we have this like automatic response, which is, oh, I just saw her. I just saw her. It was just yesterday. I was just talking to her 2 minutes ago, right? And this like wallop of like, how could a person be in the physical body one moment and not the next, right? Shift. This is a shift, right? A transformation has occurred, right? A leaving soul body, right? I'm what's coming through right now, just so I can kind of bring us full circle, is the other day. Yeah, this seems like a good thing to add on and share. The other day, I left my house. I believe it was Saturday morning to come here. Quite early, I was still kind of sleepy, and as I left, I kind of half awake, half asleep, noticed that it was raining. I was like, oh wow, it's raining. I like left my house and started to saunter here, and I was like, oh wow, it's raining. I better turn around and go back into the house and get an umbrella. Turned around, went back into the house, got the umbrella, came back out, and it was snowing. And it was like, wow, what is happening? A minute ago, a second ago, it was raining and now it's snowing. Is that possible? Did that really happen? Did I just imagine that? And the reason why I'm sharing it and how it kind of weaves back to the shift of light in the clouds and the shift of the human body through the practice and the awareness that comes through the practice of noticing the shifts that occur, and one moment a person being here on this plane and the next moment a person not, leaving the body, and how this all comes together. One moment it's raining, one moment it's snowing. It's like, well, yeah. How else would that happen, right? At some point the rain turns to snow. It's like the shifts can happen fast. At one moment, someone is breathing, and in another moment, they're not, right? It only takes a second to turn, right? The last breath someone takes, right? So one of the things I aspire to do as we hold space is just, knock the marbles of the mind around a little bit. Knock you upside your effing head. I gotta knock myself upside my head first. Just kidding. So, as we move the marbles of the mind around, it's like, oh yeah, shift can happen in a second's time. So why am I putting so much effing attention into this feed line of story? you know? Why am I giving that all my attention instead of the beautiful molecular shifts that are occurring before my eye, internally and externally? Why not pay attention to the shifts? Because at some point for each and every one of us, right? There will be the last breath, right? So one of the storylines might be, I'm too old to practice, my body aches all the time, I'm in pain all the time. Not to negate any of that. It's fucking real when you're in pain or when you're scared, which we all can be and probably are, especially right now during global crisis. But my goodness, let's clear some space so that we can see the shifts as they happen naturally. And you know what? There's little, just like you guys send me the little papa-doodle-doodle-y things, the thumbs up and the hearts, etc. It's a second. A second where something is transformed. Right? So let's see if we can find that for ourselves and within ourselves. Breathe in through your nose. Out the mouth. Go ahead, do it again. So this breath of exhale out the mouth gives a clearance. A sense of kind of bubbly effervescence. Space in front of you, space to the side, space behind, space above. Let's find it. When you're ready, close your eyes and feel it. Feel the space. There's space for you to move your mind. There's space for you to move your body. There's space to move around with your emotions. Even if the feed line is the same 24/7, right? Even if the feed line is the same 24/7, within that feed line, make enough space that you can notice something shifting. Maybe it's a sound outside that once was there and no longer is. Maybe it's the light as the clouds dance. Maybe it's your temperature. Maybe it is a thought that is becoming softened and malleable and pliable through the filtration of your breath. Right? This is the practice. Go to your breath. Soften your body inside and out in such a way that you can feel your breath moving. That you can feel your breath moving. This wonderful indication that movement exists, that shifts occur, that change happens. And whether that brings you some release and relief, like, oh, thank God I'm not going to be stuck like this forever, or I better get it together because moments are passing me that I am missing. And soon I will not be in this body form on this plane with appreciation to take them, so I better grab them now when I can. Make a little space between each of your vertebrae. And do it delicately, gently, with great sensitivity. Deepen your ability to feel. Grow more sensitive. Let's do that together, for each other, with each other. It might be scary and uncomfortable, but let's hold space for each other to become more sensitive. Soften your neck, your throat, your face. Soften your belly, your ribs and your chest. And if you feel ready, see if you can slow the breath just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Start to stretch it. Slowly starting to elongate the inhales and patiently waiting to complete the exhales. I talk about this at the studio when we're here together. See if you can find the middle of the breath. The middle of the inhale, the middle of the exhale. And as you slow this breath, attempting to find the middle of the inhale, the middle of the exhale, reside in this place of internal movement, allowing this internal movement to teach us, that shift occurs. Let's take a few moments to notice it, that your mood might be shifting, that your thoughts might be shifting, that the storyline might be dissipating. Let's go a little deeper as we drop heavily down into our hips. Emptying the breath from the underbelly. Slowly, let's inhale. Gently retain in. Gradually exhale. Gently retain in. And breathe in. Retain. And breathe out. Retain. And breathe in. Retain. And breathe out. Retain. And breathe in. Retain. And breathe out. Retain. Let's let that breath go. Let ourselves move freely, uninhibitedly. Settling back into the seat for a few moments of quiet. We'll hold space for each other to observe the breath as it moves inside the body. And folding the hands together close to the heart. This beautiful, intimate gesture. and giving thanks for this heart-centered community as it continues to grow, as we all continue to learn how to be open, how to embrace this deep connection of human form, and how to be deeply appreciative of the moments that we've been gifted. Noticing how we do shift naturally, no matter what the storyline is. The shift is occurring. May we notice it. Breathe in. Namaste. It's pretty safe to say that I knew Madeline fairly intimately for many years, or at least feels like many years. And it's pretty safe to say that during that time, we never had any dialogue of, gee, Michelle, I wonder if I should stop doing this because I'm old, right? That was not part of her story, right? So these stories, no matter how ingrained they might be, we mustn't let them stop us from our journey of awareness, our journey of awakening, and this gift of shift. This gift of shift, right? Let's not miss it. Thank you for being part of this circle, circle in a new form, right? The connectedness, the interconnectedness of us. I look forward to seeing you here again Wednesday and Friday at the same time. And please check out, Christina's with us, please check out the Zoom sessions that our dear Madeline was part of, right? Don't let anything stop you, right? May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with an easy heart. Namaste.